Hello and welcome to the Grow Landscapers 10-minute business tips series, a show that gives you bite-sized nuggets of wisdom in just 10 minutes. I'm Nick Ruddle and today's guest is John Wyer from Bowles and Wyer. How are you, John?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for asking
Oh,
me.
our absolute pleasure. Here we are again, and so pleased that you've accepted the invitation. I'm sure lots of people will benefit greatly from your pearls of wisdom. So I'm going to put this timer on for 10 minutes. So and when I do, I'll ask you for your first tip of your top three tips. So here we go. So there we go. What's your first tip? Over to you.
My first tip is start with the client, concentrate on the client. What do they need? And instead of trying to constantly compare yourself with the competition, start with the client. So a few years ago, I cycled up a hill and I got Strava notified me that I'd done a personal best. And then I started looking into all the data on Strava and discovered loads of other people had cycled up the hill faster than me. And I thought, okay, they were probably all 30 years younger. And then I looked more into the data and discovered lots of old unfit geezers like me had actually cycled up it quicker than me. So I started thinking about finding a hill that nobody had cycled up before. And so that's sort of what you need to do as a business, which is find something unique about your business and your relationship with clients and how you can deliver solutions to them, and really find a difference, a differentiator, and just start with the client and concentrate on the client. So instead of constantly comparing yourself with other people, how did they get that job? Why are they doing that and we're not doing that? How are they doing that better than us? So start with the client, concentrate on the client.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of those kind of thoughts going around people's minds. Excellent, great analogy. Like it, like it. And also a new challenge for you to find new hills.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
I'm
Love
still
it.
looking for that hill.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Always striving to achieve something, a new goal, a new higher. Excellent. Thank you. Number two of your tips.
So number two is, and I don't think you'll be surprised about this one knowing me, is the importance of culture and purpose in a business. So I'll just differentiate those quickly, but they're wrapped up together. So a purpose is what drives the business. Now, many people may think that purpose of business is to make money. And it's not. That's not the purpose of a business at all. Because if that was the purpose of a business, you'd be doing something else like your estate agency, where it's possible to make more money probably than doing landscaping. Doing landscaping or landscape design or whatever is a tough way to make money. So you don't do it because of the money. We do it because we love what we do. So the purpose of the business, you need to define what brought you into it, why you're doing it, what you're trying to achieve as a business. So our purpose as a business is to enhance lives and landscapes, and that is really important. And tied up with that is creating a positive culture in the business, and that culture drives everything else. It's difficult, and it's difficult to keep that as a live, moving forward thing. We have to constantly reinforce that, but with events and other things and communication and our internal newsletters and our internal social platform and all of that. But it's essentially about a positive culture where everybody understands what the values of the business are and what you're trying to achieve. And that leads through into the purpose, that feeds the purpose. And that it becomes a differentiator. Going back to my first tip, that becomes a differentiator. It makes you unique as a business, and it gives you integrity. It's sort of, it's not just a sheen on the outside, a marketing gloss. It's actually cut through any part of the business, and you'll see it. So the old story about when JFK asked the janitor in the loos at Kennedy Space Center, what's your job? And he said, to put a man on the moon. It's that sort of singularity of purpose that is really important in a business and gives it momentum.
I'm so pleased you said that, John. It's my biggest passion when coaching clients. It's all about the values, about the vision, about inspiring, living and breathing who you are and what you represent. My clients probably get bored of me banging the drum, but that is the golden nugget. That one is so important. The values are everything. Recruit the right people, attract the right people. It's how you embed that and just keep reinforcing that every single day. Love it, love it. Brilliant. Number 3, please.
So number 3 is the complete opposite of those two, which is concentrate on the detail, you know, and decide what KPIs you want, and don't ever take your eye off the details. The internal workings of the business in terms of its efficiency, cash flow, you know, whatever KPIs you're choosing. Some of those are going to be financial, some of them might be around your people, you know, what your rate of churn is, or it might be around your marketing, you know, looking at how many inquiries you're getting a month, how many you're converting. It might be looking at what your success rate is on tenders. It could be all sorts of different things, but you know, a lot of those, keeping your eye on that detail, keeping control of overheads, watching your cash flow. It's really understanding how the cogs in the business turn, and keeping an eye on all those. And that is not a single person's job. You know, that's a matter of teamwork and everybody playing their part. But you know, as a leader, you need to be across that detail as much as possible. And the more important the KPI is, the more you have to be across it. So that's my, and I think actually, if you get the first two, or the first one drives revenue, the second tip drives it makes the business enjoyable and aids retention and all of those things, and that drives margin. But margin is also driven by getting the mechanics right, you know, right first time every time, that sort of thing, you know, not spending money where you don't need to spend money, understanding your cash flow, getting debts in on time. All of that stuff is really important, and often people start at that end, and actually you need to get the other stuff right as well first, in fact, because that's the engine that drives the business, sorry. But you know, that all that detailed stuff at the end, that's the sort of fine-tuning. It's, you know, that's the Formula One fine-tuning of the engine.
And that makes all the difference. So they're the pillars of real foundations of business. So you can't manage what you can't measure. So in the KPIs part, I think 3 categories: winning business, which is sales and marketing; financial KPIs; and operational, which includes the team element as well. They're the sort of 3 areas that we sort of break them into. But you've got to have the benchmark that sets the standards, and then you know where you are and whether you're dropping short. It's like the dashboard of your business. Anyway, cool, brilliant, amazing, lovely. 3 really, really high value tips there. So the another question I've got for you is, what do you think could be done to attract more people to this landscape industry?
I think this is a really difficult one, and lots of people have thought about this and have tried to grapple with this. And there are lots of practical things that can be done. And you know, Barley's 𝐿𝐔𝐘 and the LI's Choose Landscape, which the SGD has also picked up on. I think those are really, really important initiatives. I sort of feel that something that I've used before, an analogy that I've used before, is the importance of storytelling. And I think, as well as practical measures, we need to find ways to inspire people with stories. Of why it's an industry to go into, what made me go into it, what, you know, what stories from things that I've done, or to inspire people to go into it, and finding a platform for that. And in fact, I wrote recently about this, and the story that I used was that I went to a car park in Stevenage, and over the just after Christmas with my son, who's a keen birder, and we saw some waxwings that had come over from Scandinavia, just fleeting visit, and they were there in this car park because somebody had planted a sorbus with particular berries that these birds were attracted to, and there were loads of people there looking at them, and that tiny decision that somebody had made 30 years ago to plant those particular trees, you know, led to this sort of event. And it was really interesting, and it just made me think about, you know, the changes that we make and the legacy of those changes, and you know, the positivity that can bring, and so how we find a platform for that inspiration, those stories, is a challenge that we all need to work together on. But it isn't just about posters, come into this industry, this is what you can do, and all of that. It's about inspiration, inspiring people, because those are the things that they remember.
Yeah, and collaboration with all the industry kind of sort of all of the people like Barley, SGD, APL, and everyone who's members having a real sort of joint effort in telling those stories, videos, you know, showcasing the industry, showcasing, and you know, you mentioned about emotion. People buy into things on emotion. They get inspired by stories, and 80% as humans, we buy into things 80% emotion, justify 20% our decision.
Yeah,
so
absolutely right.
Stories tap into that emotion, and if you don't know what the industry can be and how amazing it is, then you're never going to know. You're never going to get the opportunity. So I think it's like the best kept secret, and that's why I wanted to add that question, because I think it is a great industry and people are missing out. Right, so we are pretty much up on time, but I've got one little last question for you. So this is one for you, John. What do you do as a business owner to help you keep learning and growing yourself?
Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Yeah. So
I elaborate on that a bit.
I try and consume everything I can in terms of information and stories and data, and you know, and look at things and question why all the time. Never stop questioning, never stop asking, and just and that takes you in all sorts of directions, in unexpected things, you know, podcasts, radio, TV, books, articles, talking to people, events. Just constantly stay curious, and that, you know, takes you down all sorts of avenues that you don't expect, and often the most interesting things come from unexpected sources. So that is, you know, I mean, I've done, you know, peer-to-peer mentoring and those sort of groups and Vistage and all of those things, but ultimately it's just stay curious.
Brilliant. Stay curious. Love it. Never stop learning, eh? I suppose. And you make your own luck. You find your own opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being in the right place at the right time is rarely an accident.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What did Gary Player said? The more I practice, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
And Vinnie Jones said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. He's gone from hod carrier to footballer to Hollywood superstar.
Yeah.
So you just you create your own opportunities, don't you? And if you're not learning, you're not growing. Excellent. Thanks, John. Really, really appreciate your wonderful, brilliant tips and your pearls of wisdom, as always. Much appreciated. I'm sure people will get immense benefit and learn so much from it. So thank you so much. I shall let you get back on with your day. Take care. Thanks, John. Cheers. Bye-bye.